Hello everyone, today we will take a look at the Viltrox 13mm f1.4 after months of use and travel. If you are new to the channel, my name is Andrei Dima and I'm a travel photographer that also does video. I heavily use the Viltrox 13mm for my travel projects and today I want to tell you my experience with it. I used it a lot on the Fujifilm X-T4 and recently on the Fujifilm X-H2S. In my initial review of the Viltrox 13mm f1.4, I said only good things about it, but today things are about to change. Let's get into it. The build quality of the lens is great, as I said in my initial review, but it has a small problem. More on that later. It is made completely out of metal with a nice smooth finish. The focus ring is big and turns smoothly, but it is a bit too loose for my taste. The aperture ring is made from metal with clicks and it is one of the best I found on any Fujifilm lens. And after heavy usage, it works like new. I moved this lens from bags to backpacks, used it in the rain, at the beach, in dusty conditions, all you can think of, and it looks like new and has no dust inside. Viltrox claims it has some sort of weather sealing and it seems so. My big disappointment is that the Nikon version of this lens also has a rubber gasket for the same price. The rest, like this Fuji version, don't. Now let's get to my problem with the build quality, the lens hood. It is made from metal and plastic and it has these small screws that in time get loose and you lose them. I lost 3 and I screwed them back in every 3 days, but at some point I got bored of doing so and forgot. So now I only have 1 screw on my lens hood and need to find a place to buy these little annoyances. It is not the end of the world, but I don't have time for this. But maybe this happened only with my copy of the lens. In the last couple of months, I've traveled to Italy, Hungary, Slovenia and in many locations from the north of Spain, and this lens has never left my bag. I shot landscapes, architecture, interiors, street and used it for video. Hell, I think this is the lens that stayed the most on my camera. Why? Is it that good? Well, it is a unique lens when it comes to Fujifilm. It is the widest fast aperture lens with autofocus you can buy at the moment. At 13mm you get quite an interesting point of view that is useful no matter what type of photography you do, and it's great if you want to film yourself. That f1.4 is amazing for low light photography and video, and the sharpness for such a lens is just great, as you will see later in my photos and some 6.2K Fujifilm X-H2S footage. But before we get to image quality, let's talk about something that is really good on this lens and can be very useful to any of you, and that is autofocus. The autofocus on this lens is just amazing on the Fujifilm system. In my opinion, maybe the best. In regards of photography, it never disappointed me on the X-T4 or the X-H2S, where it really shines. The motor is quick, silent and accurate. I never missed a photo because of it, only because of human error. Now, when it comes to video, as you know, most Fujifilm lenses are not made with video autofocus in mind. But this is where this lens shines. On the X-T4 works very well, but it is limited by the camera's autofocus system. And still it is one of the best focusing lenses on that camera. I recently purchased the Fujifilm X-H2S and man, the video autofocus works so nice on this camera. I found it reliable 90% of the time. When filming yourself, it is just spot on. Well, almost all the time. It was spot on even in low light. The other 10% it hunts a bit, but that happens with all lenses on the X-H2S and can be fixed in time with a firmware update. But that is not the point. The point is the autofocus of this lens is great. From all my travels, I cannot recall a single photo taken with this lens I didn't like. The contrast is great, sharpness is good, corner sharpness is good, the flare and chromatic aberrations are very well controlled. This is also great news for videographers. The lens performs very well starting from f1.4. Both cameras I've used with this lens have IBIS, so I could get some really great shots at lower shutter speeds. Let's zoom in on this photo taken in a bar in Budapest. The center sharpness is just great. We can see a little softness in the corners, but I'm okay with that at f1.4. What can I say? This lens is an APS-C low-light beast. I see beast is the keyword for gear this year, so why not use it? Beast that camera, beast that lens, monkey that. Let's get back to the lens. As you can see in these f1.4 photos, the lens really performs great in low light, and it is also great for astrophotography. Not my best astrophotos, but I hope they help you to decide if you want to buy this lens. f2 and f2.8 are even better, but the sweet spot of this lens is f4.5. Great sharpness from corner to corner. f5.6 and f8 remain the same. Only when getting to f11 we see a bit of softness due to diffraction, and f16 is even softer. For a wide-angle f1.4 lens, these results are impressive considering the price. And for those of you who want to know how it compares to the Samyang 12mm, which I also reviewed, the Viltrox is far superior on all fronts. Overall, when it comes to image quality, the Viltrox 13mm is a great performer. I just loved using it in my travels and projects. Sadly, I cannot show you some of the best photos I've taken because they haven't been published yet by my client, but I will share them in time on my Vero page, so follow me there. If you like a sharp image when it comes to video, this lens is more than enough. I used it with my Fujifilm X-H2S to shoot some open gate 6.2K. And what can I say? It looks amazing. I am not a fan of super sharp videos, but what can I say? I'm impressed. Slap a diffusion filter on this lens and you got a cinematic beast. Yes, I used beast again. Let's talk a bit about distortion. When it comes to photos, I'm okay with it on this lens. I like the wide-angle feel of lenses like this, and I'm not obsessed with correcting it for every single photo. Sometimes it just looks better like this. Not everything is perfect in this world, and it shouldn't be. It is more interesting like this. When it comes to video with the X-T4, you get quite some wobble in the corners, and sadly there is nothing that can fix that in camera. But luckily, with a bit of image stabilization in post, it goes away. The good news is that with the X-H2S, wobble is better controlled. It doesn't go away, but it is better. This is my conclusion after using this lens. It is an unbeatable lens in this price point, and it should be part of everybody's kit, photographer or videographer. It has great low light performance and amazing autofocus. So if you are a Fujifilm user, this is a must-have, and even if you use other systems, you must check out this lens. If you want to support the channel, check out my new presets pack. Subscribe or use the links in the description below. See you next time.